This is Mel Allen. It's a new season of baseball. So look up and look out. Look out for the Cubs, who are already displaying some Wrigley Field home cooking. Watch out for the Mets, who've been looking up. Keep an eye on the Astros, who are looking for Cesar Cedeno to reach new heights. Check out the Dodgers, who have to watch out for everybody. And beware of the Reds, who will stop at nothing to regain their championship status. This week, we'll review up-to-date National League action highlights and take a look at some historic moments. So hang in there, folks, for This Week in Baseball. Opening day in the National League is a tradition that's been going on for over a century. But in Philadelphia, opening day is always colorful. Presenting Helicopter Man, hanging from one foot and dropping the traditional first pitch to another. Phillies catcher Barry Foot. Of course, catching it is one thing, but hitting it is another story. Last year, hitting was a large part of the Philadelphia story. The Phillies were the top hitting team in the National League, hammering out base hits all season long. Sluggers like Greg Luzinski hammered them all the way out. With hitting like that and pitching from the likes of Steve Carlton, Cy Young Award winner, Philadelphia had little trouble bringing home its second straight Eastern Division title. With enthusiasm high in the Philly clubhouse, it appeared that 1977 might be the year for a team in a city that had not won a pennant since the Whiz Kids of 1950. That is, until Dodger pinch hitter Manny Mota turned things around in Game 3 of the championship series. Greg Luzinski just missed the catch that would have ended the ball game. But the game went on, and the Dodgers, not the Phillies, won the pennant. Philadelphia's spectacular season was suddenly over. All that remained was to answer the inevitable question, why?
Ain't no sense sitting around worrying about one play or one call, one call by the umpire or anything like that. It comes right down to, hey, we got to hit. If we're as good as people say we are and we deserve to be in the World Series and we're the best team in baseball and all that business, we've got to prove it right out there with our bat.
That's why baseball is the #1 game in America today, because you don't know what's going to happen. We're 1 out, 2 strikes away from winning the game, and the roof caves in. So, that's why we're the #1 sport. I think that's why we're going to be the #1 sport.
Tug McGraw has been leading the charge as Philadelphia bids to become baseball's #1 team. He's one of 4 key arms and a bullpen that is possibly the deepest in the league. It's a long time until October, but McGraw has already excited Philadelphia. As he said for years, you gotta believe. And you can believe this. They're ready for big things in Montreal, where Dick Williams and the Expos are looking toward 78 with plenty of optimism. One reason, a talented young outfield that includes last year's Rookie of the Year, Andre Dawson, moving fast toward big league stardom. Another is improved pitching, with the addition of 2 ex-Baltimore pitchers, Ross Grimsley and this man, Rudy May. They may be a dark horse, but don't be surprised if the Expos turn the corner and move into the pennant picture for the first time in their young history. Chances are the Atlanta Braves will not be in the pennant picture this year unless Chief Nakahoma's opening day dance succeeds in winning favors from the gods. But Atlanta isn't just waiting for Nakahoma's magic. The Braves are beginning to make moves toward the future. Rookie manager Bobby Cox started the season with a team loaded with youngsters and a few established players like right fielder Gary Matthews. A sensational catch, but one that put Matthews on the shelf with a shoulder injury. Man, that's tough luck. Gary had become the first player in the majors to hit 4 home runs. This year, the Houston Astros are out to prove that they were not playing over their heads a year ago. Fact is, Houston is loaded with talent, like third baseman Enos Cabell. But in the first week of the season, the Cincinnati Reds took 4 straight from Houston, and the Astros were off to a crawling start. They quickly recovered and are now moving up in the standings thanks to some inspired play by Cesar Cedeno, who hopes to put the Astros in orbit with an explosive season. This could be Houston's year to really get up and go. In Chicago, they're waiting for the big bat of Dave Kingman to explode. If it does, they might have to install seat belts in Wrigley Field, where baseball fever simply boiled over last summer. For most of that time, the Cubs were #1 in the East, with relief ace Bruce Sutter recording the saves and everyone making the plays. Folks kept wondering when the Cubs would tumble down to earth, and it finally happened in August with a series of injuries and hard times for manager Herman Franks. But even when falling out of a pennant race, Herman and his team could still put on a show. And the show is here again. Cubs ace Rick Reuschel demonstrates a new way to get out of a bases-loaded jam. Double play. Who said you can't go home again? Strange things continue to happen at Wrigley Field. Last season, all eyes were on Lou Brock, who had to watch his step everywhere he went. Now, Lou may be slightly out of step here, but all season long, fans watched every move he made until he finally made history in San Diego with this stolen base, number 893, which surpassed Ty Cobb's career record of most stolen bases. Earlier this month, Brock led off a new season by doing his thing again, the 901st time. But now Lou has other targets in sight, like 3,000 career hits, and the Cardinals have their sights set on dethroning the champion Phillies. One man who could help, new right fielder Jerry Morales, who has sparkled with both his bat and his arm. Out at second. And another is Keith Hernandez, the league's leading hitter in the early season. With 300 hitters like Ted Simmons on base, Hernandez has been driving home the runs. Hernandez helped the Cards get off to a good start. Pitcher Bob Forsch got off to a great start. A 20-game winner last year, Forsch became the major's first 3-game winner this year, and victory number 3 was a no-hitter against the Phillies. This controversial play in the 8th inning was scored in error, but the St. Louis defense was otherwise perfect. Bob Forsch had a thrilling afternoon and gave baseball fans a piece of sports history. History rolls right along in Pittsburgh, too. Willie Stargell, with over 400 career homers, is back from injury to lend a big bat and inspiration to his teammates.
Willie Stargell, he's the greatest man I ever met. I never thought a superstar was like that. You know, some of those guys are on their own little ego trips, but Willie Stargell, I hope someday I'm the kind of man he is.
While Candelaria respects Stargell, opposing hitters respect Candelaria. Although a 20-game winner, the Candyman is just beginning.
Yeah, I don't even think I've really scratched the surface yet of my ability. I'm just starting to know my hitters, and I'm starting to pitch more with my head now. And I want to see the day that John Candelaria puts it all together. Just curious to see what he can do.
This season, Candelaria is joined in the starting rotation by Bert Blyleven, A pitching duo capable of taking the Pirates a long way, especially if the defense can make plays like this. Parker to Stennett to Garner. Perfect teamwork. Of course, Pirate tradition is founded in number, exemplified by hitters like Bill Robinson and this man, Dave Parker, last year's batting champion. Once again, hitting should be Pittsburgh's strong suit. Add solid pitching and defense, and the Pirates just might improve on their second-place finish of last year. In San Francisco, baseball tradition continues with 40-year-old Willie McCovey, old stretch. He should pass a milestone soon when he hits his 500th career home run. McCovey has been providing the punch for a team deep in strong young pitchers. If the defense continues to back them up, watch out for the San Francisco Giants. And keep your eye on Gaylord Perry, a new face on the San Diego pitching staff. This season had hardly begun when Perry moved into third place on the all-time strikeout list. Walter Johnson, Bob Gibson, and now Gaylord Perry. And the season was young when the Padres pulled off this play. The Braves have the bases loaded, nobody out. 1 out, 2 outs. It's a triple play. The second one this year. Could be a landmark year for triple plays. It's certain to be a landmark year for Pete Rose of the Reds. Pete should hurdle the 3,000 hit barrier in a couple of weeks and could close in on higher goals.
If I have, a couple 100 hits in the next 2 years, I think I have a shot at Stan Musial's 36-30 record, which is a National League record, and that's something to shoot for. But I don't really worry about it. I'm worried about getting off to a good April to get my team out of the gate on top this year. We got behind the Dodgers 10 games by May 1st last year, and it was just too much to overcome. And they got a good ball club. Houston's got a good ball club, and we got a good ball club. And we just like to come out of the gate on top so we can get back into playoffs and be world champions again, because we feel we deserve to be world champions. We're supposed to be. We got all the stars over here.
Maybe not all the stars, Pete, but the Reds sure do have their share. Two-time MVP Joe Morgan has the Reds off to one of their best starts. Last year was an off year for Cincinnati, but 78 could be another story, particularly if home run honcho George Foster can match his MVP performance of last season. No doubt about the hitting. The question is pitching. With Tom Seaver and Bill Bonham, Sparky Anderson figures he has some answers for his rival Tom Lasorda.
I do think in 1978 he will get some competition, and I think he'll realize that 1 year doesn't make you the wonder. You have to do it more than once. And I would like to prove one thing, that the Dodgers are not any better than we are, and that maybe we are the best team still in the National League.
Anderson may talk a lot about the Reds, but Dodger skipper Tom Lasorda has an answer.
Just tell Sparky, he was a former teammate of mine. He's a great man. He's a true friend. But when the bell rings, look out.
And last year when the bell rang, Ron Say and the Dodgers came out of the gate so fast, they virtually put the race out of reach by May. Say was one of 4 Dodgers to hit 30 or more homers. Others included Dusty Baker, who had hit only 4 the previous year. Reggie Smith, who made a mighty strong comeback. And Steve Garvey, who enjoyed his best power year. Dodgers' success was fueled all season with the irrepressible spirit of the rookie manager who had his entire team living and breathing the gospel of togetherness.
We believe in the philosophy of togetherness, love for each other, respect for each other, unselfishness on the part of each and every player. I've told our players many times that if we can get 25 players, 4 coaches, a manager, and the organization all getting on one end of a rope and pulling together, we can pull the rest of the league with us. But if 10 get on one end of the rope and the other get on the other end, we go absolutely nowhere. So it's got to be where you have to have respect and love for each other, and this is what I really enjoy about this great ball club.
It may be the home of love and respect, But Dodger Stadium is also a kaleidoscope of baseball entertainment, Hollywood style. When the Dodgers opened their season in Los Angeles this year, there was little difference between the '78 team and last year's version. However, one difference could be a healthy Rick Monday, who was hampered last year by back problems. Now Monday feels fit, hitting 4 homers the first 2 weeks. And the Dodgers also got off to a good start and feel they've added some consistency to their bullpen by picking up free agent pitcher Terry Forster. Forster's arm has looked strong, but there has been speculation that he may have a slight weight problem. But the man who has an answer for everything, Tom Lasorda, can answer that one too.
Yeah, he's got a weight problem. He can't wait till he faces the Reds.
New York Met fans may have to wait a while for a winner, but they believe the Mets will improve, and you better believe their manager does too.
Definitely. I feel we're going to have a lot of guys with a lot of playing time, and Ed Kranepool, who is my secret weapon. You know, he could play and probably the best pinch hitter in the league right now, and I just like to be able to use Eddie Kranepool when his base is loaded in a crucial situation, because he's an excellent hitter under those conditions.
Those conditions came up in the Mets' second game of the season. Montreal was leading 5-4, 2 outs, 1 on, Kranepool pinch hitting. There it is, a drive to deep right field. It's going, and it is gone. How about that? And how about those New York Mets? A team that has only Kranepool and Jerry Koosman remaining from their 1969 miracle year. Thus far, the young Mets have been pulling together with plenty of enthusiasm. Why not? There's some young talent just beginning to find out what it can do. Steve Henderson found out he could hit National League pitching last year, and so far has liked it even better with 3 early season homers. The Mets have been playing exciting ball and have reminded some of the miracle year. Watch this game saver by right fielder Tom Grieve. All right, now try this one by Lenny Randall. A hot corner. The Mets may not pull down a pennant, but you can never be sure of anything in this strange game of baseball. And speaking of strange things, just watch this play from Boston's Fenway Park. Rookie reliever Len Barker of the Texas Rangers is set to throw a high hard one. And we mean high and hard to imagine. It didn't help matters for Texas that the bases were loaded either. Fenway fans are always ready to applaud a spectacular performance. So, Mr. Barker, how about showing us one more time? Up, 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 and away. We go to Yankee Stadium. Opening day was quite an event. A large crowd was on hand, along with yours truly, to witness the return of slugging great Roger Maris back at the stadium for the first time since he was traded to St. Louis a dozen years ago. And what a sight. Maris and Mickey Mantle together raising the Yankees' first World Championship flag in 15 years. And in keeping with Bronx Bomber tradition, Reggie Jackson took his first swing at the stadium since last year's series and made it 4 homers in a row. His 3-run blast was big enough to win the game and produce a spontaneous shower of Reggie candy bars from the stands. Handy candy for celebrating the occasion. This week, the Gillette Special goes to Cardinal right-hander Bob Forsch, who had plenty to celebrate. The chances of pitching a no-hitter are calculated to be around 1,200 to 1, and chances against a team like Philadelphia would be even less probable. But even against those odds, Forsch had the home crowd's imagination running wild. After all, it hadn't seen a Cardinal no-hitter in St. Louis in over 50 years. And here was Forsch in the 9th inning. Ken Reitz to Keith Hernandez, and it's over. A no-hitter for Bob Forsch. That, folks, is the magic of baseball. It can always happen, but no one knows when or where. Baseball 78 is on its way. Hope to see you again next week on This Week in Baseball.